I'm Carly Johnston for Red Wings TV, and welcome to the 2018 NHL Draft Preview. Despite finishing with the 5th best overall odds of getting the #1 pick, the Red Wings ended up with the 6th overall pick in the upcoming NHL entry draft. The Wings had the greatest likelihood, a 34.5% chance of falling to 6th.
Well, I think everybody that missed the playoffs, obviously you're hoping for your ball's going to get pulled and you're going to get the first pick in the draft. Obviously the odds are long. Even the worst team in the league, I think, has 20% odds or 19% odds. It was great to have the lottery come and go, so we knew exactly what we were dealing with. You know, the scouts basically start, once they leave training camp, they're on the road the rest of the winter from late September until early May. Once you get through the World Under-18 Championships, we're at the end of April, came into Detroit. We had our year-end scouting meetings, had all our staff in here for 5 days, went through all the players, went through the rankings. When we leave those meetings, the scouts go back. The area scouts' job is to continue to do investigation, talk to people, gather information about the players in their area. We then went to the Combine in Buffalo and obviously got the opportunity to interview, I think, 80 kids. We spent about 25 to 30 minutes with each young prospect for over the course of 5 days. Got the Combine results, and our scouts have gone through the Combine information, the statistics obviously related to the Combine. Continue as you work up to the draft. They continue to talk to people in their areas, gather information. We're going into Dallas. Everybody's going to get in there Tuesday. We'll meet Wednesday. We'll meet Thursday. We'll meet again Friday morning. And I'm looking forward to the draft starting on Friday night.
The good news is that this year's draft is considered to be an excellent one, stacked with many players who are expected to have an impact in the NHL, even if they don't make it next season. The Red Wings have 2 picks in the first round, 4 picks in the first 36, and 8 picks in the top 100. The 6th overall pick will be the highest the Red Wings have had since 1990 when they selected Keith Primeau. The Red Wings are headed into the draft looking to build on the foundation that will lead the team for years to come. We heard from Kris Draper, assistant to the general manager, on the current situation of the depth chart and what it's like to be in the shoes of these kids about to be selected at the draft.
It's amazing to see how mature these kids are. I think from an age when they're 14, 15 years old, they have strength coaches, they have skills coaches, they have obviously more educated coaches. They know how to eat properly, they know how to sleep properly. So it's amazing. I think that's why you see where the NHL game is right now. It's younger, it's faster, it's bigger, and it's stronger. And I think it starts, at the youth hockey level. I really think that these kids coming in are they're so much further ahead, when I was younger going through it. And then obviously the one thing, everything was social media. You could get anything that you want, anything that you need through that. These young teenagers, hockey players, are much more advanced and obviously very well prepared. I think Tyler Wright's doing a very good job. Very thorough. I like our staff, I like our communication, I like our knowledge of players. We have to be ready, we have to be educated, and you can tell from the dialogue that we've had. We've done what we're supposed to do, we've done the viewings, and I think the conversations have been very good. You have to be prepared for everything. Last year, we had a guy in our sights at 9. We actually really thought that we were going to get him at 9. There was a trade, something happened, and you just have to be ready. And then we end up with Michael Rasmussen and love him. Big 6'5", power forward centerman, plays some wing right now. Had an unreal, year, had a massive playoff. We're excited to get him into development camp and just, continue to watch him. Pretty exciting when that phone rings. You're kind of wondering what's going on, who's thinking what kind of thing. We've moved back and made some trades. That's how we got Filip Hronek. We did that with Tyler Bertuzzi. So, it works, and all of a sudden you start getting these extra picks and move back a little bit, acquire a 2nd-round pick, and those 2 seconds that we're talking about, Tyler Bertuzzi played with Henrik Zetterberg and Gus Nyquist, and we're really excited about what he brings. Obviously, the year that Filip Hronek had, the all-rookie team, amazing. He's over in the World Championships right now playing for Czech, and we're looking forward to seeing him, come training camp. So it's important and I think, and I know Ken did a great job for us by getting the extra first. We got 2 seconds, we got 3/3. Now it's up to the amateur staff to step up and hit on those picks.
After the conclusion of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the NHL Draft was solidified. General Manager Ken Holland made 3 key trades to obtain mid-range picks. These mid-range picks are crucial to the organization's draft class. Oftentimes, these picks are really what make the long hours the scouts put in worth it. There's a lot that goes into formulating the perfect draft class by the Red Wings front office. Thousands of miles traveled, hundreds of games attended, numerous reports, and it all accumulates to 2 days in June. Here's a little more insight to the process from Tyler Wright, Jeff Finley, and Hakan Andersson.
It's just not about going in a draft and picking a player. We're creating a massive puzzle that you're trying to put small pieces, and within those small pieces, some bigger pieces and bigger, we use the word pillars, that we're trying to build the foundation on. And who's the next wave of kids? What is the position, and how ready are they?
You know, at the start of the year, they're out there trying to identify these players in all those smaller leagues, and we use central scouting as a reference a lot for that, just identifying the players. You know, that becomes one of the more difficult parts of the job, is when you're seeing them play at different levels, trying to project what they're going to be, because the ones that are playing in the lower leagues, you got to kind of project because they're usually dominant at that level.
Talk to teammates, talk to trainers. What kind of guy is he? Is he competitive? Because I've seen over the years guys that look pretty shy, but you get a different picture when you start snooping around. Oh, he's always on those optional practices, he's always there. After the practice is over, when they scrimmage for fun, this guy is like crazy competitive. And I think that's more important for me. I'm sure if I was a fully trained psychologist, I could maybe sit with a kid and get more out of a long conversation. For me, a lot of it is you're painting a bigger picture around him, and from several sources.
We talked about, you know, what Tyler and I are doing. These other guys are grinding as well. Maybe they're not traveling all over the map like we are, but they're going to games and they're grinding and they're working hard identifying those players in their areas. So we have a lot of respect for each other. It's just about talking about and identifying the strengths and weaknesses of the different players, you know, maybe changing other guys' opinions, making them look at players differently.
You go to a game, if you and I went to a game and we said, okay, this is a junior game, pick out the 3 best players on each team and rank them. We could go to the same game and our list would still look different. You would like the goalie because of his big saves, and I would like the defenseman because nobody could get around him, or you might like the forward. Didn't you see those one-on-one moves? Like, wow. You still have to identify what the player can be.
When you build a hockey team, it's like building an engine. And you know, the engine is 4, 5, 6 players, but then you can't just have an engine. You need, if you want to have a really nice car, you got to have lots of other important pieces. And we're trying to build an organization. Some are defensive defensemen, some have to run the power play, some are big defensemen, some are little, some are fast, some are smart. You know, up front you need different pieces. You need net front, and you need playmakers, you need shooters, you need scorers. So you're not going to build that in one draft. You're going to build that over a number of drafts. And certainly when you look at the Detroit Red Wings today, Dylan Larkin, Tyler Bertuzzi, Athanasiou, Mantha, Cumming is Rasmussen, Chalowski, Hronek, and now we've got another draft. We're going to add to that group of young players. It's an important time in the moment, but it's also an important time over the course of 3 or 4 years. It's important that we come to the rink, our young players come to the rink every day, and they believe they've got a chance to win the game.
The Red Wings have a rare opportunity ahead of them with a very talented draft pool of prospects. Rasmus Dahlin is the consensus #1 pick. However, after he is selected, it'll be very interesting to see who the next team select. Let's take a look at the other top draft eligible picks after Dahlin in no particular order. Jesperi Kotkaniemi of Finland is a big, strong center who plays a pro-style power game. He shows good physical presence on the ice with quick hands and a powerful shot. Oliver Wahlstrom of the National Team Development Program is an elite scoring right winger who can beat opponents with a quick release, velocity, and accuracy. Wahlstrom is a force to be reckoned with on the ice, and his stats are great across the board. In 51 games played, he put up 78 points and finished with a +26 on the season. Barrett Hayton of the Sioux Greyhounds is a hard-working complete center who has good size and uses it well both with and without the puck. But when he has the puck, Hayton uses his body well to protect the puck and is hard to get off of it. He's not a flashy player, but he's highly effective. Andrei Suchanek of the Barrie Colts, the younger brother of Red Wings own Evgeny Svechnikov, Andrei is said to be the most offensively gifted player in the draft. The right winger has the total package of speed, skill, and power. He's ridiculously skilled with the puck, scoring 40 goals and 72 points in 40 games played. Philip Zadina of the Halifax Mooseheads is a left winger that is an elite scorer and playmaker. Get him the puck and he'll find the back of the net. He produced last season. In 57 games played, he put up 44 goals, 82 points, and went +23 on the season. Brady Tkachuk from Boston University is an intense and highly competitive left winger that has the skill and will to be a strong contributor in any type of game in all situations. Tkachuk is strong on his stick and feet with the upper body strength to fend off checks. Quinn Hughes from the University of Michigan is a smooth skating defenseman that has the offensive skills to be a two-way player. He has explosive speed and finds teammates through traffic with his creative passes. He has the calmness, poise, and mindset to be a well-rounded contributor to any team. Noah Dobson from Arcadia Bathurst Titan is a mobile two-way defenseman with great size, puck skills, and speed. Dobson covers a lot of ground both offensively and defensively, and uses his long, powerful stride to push the pace and move up into the play to create odd man rushes. Evan Bouchard of the London Knights is an offensive defenseman who plays with poise, passion, and speed. Bouchard does a great job getting the puck to net for rebounds and deflections. He makes the game look easy, looking seamless out on the ice. Not a flashy player, he's smart, competitive, and efficient. Adam Boquist of Brynäs in the Swedish Elite League is a fast, dangerous defenseman with great agility, acceleration, and balance. Boquist is a two-way player with soft, quick hands who can really take off with the puck. In a series of trades made during the season, the Red Wings shipped Tomas Tatar off to the Vegas Golden Knights in exchange for 3 draft picks, one of which is their first-round pick this season. With the Knights making it to the Stanley Cup final, the odds of that pick being higher went down, but to gain an additional pick in the first round is a benefit to this draft class. This is the first time the Red Wings have drafted twice in the first round since 1978. On Saturday, the Red Wings will really be showing off their scouting prowess when they could be selecting 9 additional players. 2 in the second round, 3 in the third round, 1 in the fourth round, 2 in the sixth round, and 1 in the final 7th round.
I think it's a unique year for us this year for the fact that we got 4 picks in the top 36 of this draft, which for us is exciting, because we've identified this draft as being a deep draft, meaning that there's going to be really, really good players going in the second round. There's going to be good players going in the third round, fourth round. And I think as you get on later into the rounds and the industry is really dictated, there's going to be some really good players that develop in 4, 5, 6 years. And we've been the fruits of that with, 15, 20 years ago with Pavel Datsyuk and Henrik Zetterberg. There's more people fishing in Hakan's fishing hole in Sweden. There's more people, there's more technology. I don't think we can accept that as an organization. What are we going to do differently to find those people?
Players in the National Hockey League are picked high in the draft, and certainly that last year with pick 9, with pick 6, we're hoping that those players are going to be real key pieces to this team. But ultimately, you need to get players from a lot of different ways, through free agency, through trades, through late round picks that maybe take 5 years to develop. You're working on building the complete team, and then obviously when you do get to be the team that you want to be, you still need to have a push of young players, because if these players turn out to be as good as you hope, certainly you hope you're going to have salary cap issues. That's the hope. That means you've got a good team, and you've got lots of good players, and they're commanding lots of dollars, and then you've got to make some moves. So the draft ultimately in a salary cap world is the most important way to have a successful team.
The NHL Draft will be held in Dallas, Texas, with the first round taking place Friday night, June 22nd, and the 2nd through 7th rounds taking place Saturday, June 23rd. You can watch the draft on the NHL Network, NBCSN, or Sportsnet. Make sure to follow all of Detroit Red Wings social media channels for in-depth coverage and access to the draft. We hope you enjoyed this inside look of the 2018 NHL Draft for your Detroit Red Wings. For Red Wings TV, I'm Carly Johnston.
Oh, very excited, having all these picks, and fortunately a strong, deep draft, so with the 4 picks in the first 2 rounds, we're going to get good players. There's going to be lots of good players for us there. Talented, skilled players, and lots of different dimensions. Obviously, organizational need is defense and centermen, and there's lots of those players in the first 2 rounds of this draft. So we're very, very excited.
Very, always. This is what you work for all year. So it's the big test. And some other teams are going to surprise you by picking players that you go, wow, I didn't think they would take him that early, or wow, they're taking him. I never saw him play a good game. There's always that. But for sure, it's very exciting, always.
At the end of the day, we're trying to get a group of kids in a pool, give them every resource possible to be able to develop. And how far? Don't put a limit on these kids. For us to sit here and say, this guy's going to be a great quarterback in the National Football League, Tom Brady goes in the 7th or 9th round. He's the all-time, barely got a starting position at the University of Michigan. There was a quality that they identified. There's something there. Got to find it.